Next month will mark 2 years since the Alexander Mountain Fire broke out in Larimer County. The fire burned nearly 10,000 acres and destroyed over 24 homes. The man who was arrested and accused of starting it was set to go on trial next month, but today prosecutors announced he didn't do it. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
I'm Kim Christensen. The district attorney's office filed a motion to dismiss the arson charge against 51-year-old Jason Hobby. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez is here. And Colton, prosecutors say evidence shows he could not have started the fire.
Yeah, Kim, investigators spent nearly 2 years building this case, and tonight they're back at square one. Hundreds of witnesses, police reports, and mountains of digital evidence, and nearly 2 years later, investigators still don't know who started the Alexander Mountain Fire. Thursday, the Larimer County District Attorney's Office filed a motion to dismiss the arson charge against 51-year-old Jason Hobby. Hobby was arrested in September of 2024, about 2 months after the fire started, after investigators determined the fire was human-caused and traced the origin to a fire pit on top of Alexander Mountain. Prosecutors say new evidence shows Hobby could not have started the fire that destroyed more than 24 homes west of Loveland. In a statement, the DA's office said pursuing the wrong person would be unethical. They say evidence related to Hobby's whereabouts, his alibi, and data from his cell phone all pointed away from him. When Hobby was arrested, the Larimer County Sheriff's Office said he drove a vehicle designed to look like a police SUV, ran an unregistered fire protection business, and during the fire itself, bypassed road closures to pose as a wildland firefighter. Hobby still faces charges related to those accusations. As for who actually started the Alexander Mountain Fire, prosecutors say all investigative avenues against Hobby have been exhausted, and that person remains unknown. And Hobby had already pleaded not guilty to that arson charge. He entered that same plea for all the other charges he faces. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
The Larimer County Sheriff's Office is mourning the loss of 2 deputies who were among 3 men killed in a crash in Idaho. They've been identified as Sergeant Jeremy Coleman and Deputy Ethan Powers. Nathan McCormick is a relative of Coleman's, was also killed. The crash happened Tuesday afternoon near the city of Kuski. It's about 3 hours north of Boise. Idaho State Police say a 60-year-old woman from Colorado Springs named Neil Brewer was trying to pass a semi in a no-passing zone, and she hit those 3 men on motorcycles, killing all 3. Court documents say Brewer may have tried to leave the scene, but a witness stopped her. She now faces vehicular manslaughter charges. In a statement, the Larimer County Sheriff's Office wrote, quote, "These were incredible people who dedicated their lives to making Larimer County better every single day. They trained hard, they served well, and they loved life."
Tonight, we're working to learn more about a WestJet flight that was evacuated DIA. The flight was headed to Calgary. According to air traffic control audio, it was cleared for takeoff just after 12:30 this afternoon. A few minutes later, that audio indicated tires on its landing gear were blown and smoke was visible from underneath the plane. The airport says passengers were evacuated using stairs and bused back to the terminal. In a statement to 9 News, WestJet says they were actively supporting guests and working to reaccommodate them as quickly as possible.
There's a new wildfire prompting evacuations in western Colorado. The Lawhead Fire is northeast of Delta. It's burned about 20 acres. It's not clear if there are any containment or even what caused it. Everyone forced from their homes because of a wildfire burning northeast of Penrose is now allowed to go back. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office lifted evacuations for the KO fire about an hour and a half ago. The fire burned 64 acres. Fire officials say it's still uncontained, but they are making progress securing the area.
So much fire danger and concerns all over the state, Kathy.
Absolutely. And right now, the western slope is worse than the Front Range and Eastern Plains in terms of the drought, in terms of the unusually warm weather trend. And the fire weather warnings were out all day yesterday, have now canceled. We're getting a little bit of a break, but we are expecting to see some of those watches and warnings return to the state in about 24 hours. Beautiful evening along the Front Range. Willie Franklin with that shot for us. We're in the mid 70s tonight. We were cooler today and a bit windy with the arrival of a front that has actually brought up the moisture levels a bit. So nice to have that extra humidity. Pretty gusty down around Monument Hill, Castle Pines and Castle Rock. It will be Saturday when we see that fire weather watch go back out for half the state, including western Colorado and the Four Corners area and areas south of Denver. We're also dealing with poor air and air quality alert out for an ozone action day that'll continue through 4 o'clock tomorrow. A couple of showers on the radar, not a lot to be excited about, but hey, Trinidad getting a little rain tonight, Raton Pass, so that's some wonderful news. We have a beautiful night coming in tonight, lighter winds, a nice day tomorrow, and then we're going to look ahead and talk about that holiday, the Father's Day holiday weekend forecast in just a bit, because some changes are in the extended forecast.
Denver police are providing some new details about the moments officers shot and injured a man at a gas station on Santa Fe. While it happened in Denver, no DPD officers fired their guns.
9 News reporter Ria Jha joins us live from near that gas station. Ria, investigators say officers thought the man had a gun, but today they said the thing they recovered was not one.
Yeah, so police were tracking this stolen traffic truck, and since they thought the suspect had a gun, they were following him and waiting for him to come outside the car, and that happened to be here at this gas station on 6th and Santa Fe. This started as a stolen truck investigation. It ended inside this gas station near 6th and Santa Fe, where 2 officers shot the man accused of stealing it.
You ready?
On Thursday, police gave a clearer timeline of what happened on June 2nd before those shots were fired. They said the truck was stolen from a construction site near Colfax and Peoria. It had GPS and a camera inside.
These images captured the driver operating the vehicle while holding what appeared to be a firearm in his right hand.
After tracking the truck through Aurora and Denver, the suspect got out at this Sinclair gas station and walked towards the store.
The subject did not comply and instead went quickly into the convenience store.
Stop, he's got a gun, Drop the gun!
The officer reported he believed the subject posed an imminent threat, and that officer discharged multiple rounds from their duty handgun. Officers observed the subject crawling towards a firearm that was on the ground.
He's going for the gun again!
That object was determined to be a lighter designed to look like a handgun. It was not capable of discharging a projectile.
The gun they thought the suspect had was fake.
It looked like a real firearm.
The man was taken to the hospital where he still is today after getting hit multiple times.
It was determined that a total of 13 rounds were fired by 2 law enforcement officers.
There were also 2 employees inside the store, but police said officers weren't aware of who was or wasn't inside the store before firing shots.
The officers described being very clear that they had a clear backdrop, meaning the area beyond the individual was not putting anybody else in jeopardy at the time that they discharged their weapons.
Thankfully, the employees were not hurt. The 2 officers who fired shots, one from State Patrol and one from Adams County Sheriff's Office, are now on leave as this investigation continues. Denver police gave today's update because this incident happened here in Denver, but they wanted to make clear that none of their officers fired any shots in this incident. Reporting live in Denver, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Over 180 people are out of jobs with the Poudre School District. Spokesperson for the district says 110 licensed staff members in the probationary phase were not renewed, and 72 classified staffers had their positions eliminated. The layoffs and cuts to the district staffing are painful but not unexpected. Back in February, the school board unanimously approved plans for a reduction in force, citing a budget shortfall.
Denver's most popular Juneteenth celebration is returning to 5 Points tomorrow for the first time. The Juneteenth Music Festival will be a 3-day event full of live music, community, and celebration. The main event is Saturday with the annual Juneteenth Parade, the longest Juneteenth parade in the country. For many, the event goes beyond the celebration.
When I think about Juneteenth, I think about Charlie Cousins. I think about my grandfather, Norman Harris. I think about all the people that came before me. And so this is a celebration not of just our triumphs as a people, but those triumphs as people that came before us as well.
And Saturday's celebration will be headlined by Grammy-nominated R&B artist Sir, who will be performing on the main stage.